Hello class 10 and welcome to your economics application class. This is your Nigam sir and the chapter that we are going to study today is Central Bank. This is the first video on this chapter. The syllabus for ICSE on this chapter are Central Bank, its functions, quantitative and qualitative credit control measures adopted by Reserve Bank of India. The topics that we are going to study in this video are the meaning of central bank and its functions. Now, before we move on to central bank, in the earlier video we studied about the commercial banks. So, commercial banks is the financial institutions which accepts deposits from the public and they grant loans and does many activities for its customer. Mainly, commercial banks are established in order to earn profit. Now, we have the central bank. Central bank is not a commercial institution. It is one of the agency of the government. Now, let us know what is the meaning and the definition of central bank. Central bank is the apex institution in the banking and the financial structure of the country. It is the central monetary authority which manages the currency and credit policy of the country and functions as a banker of the government and commercial bank. So central bank is the is an agency which looks after the monetary and financial structure of the country. So it normally acts as a banker to the government as well as the banker to the bank. In every country, there will be one central bank. In India, we have a central bank named as Reserve Bank of India. If you take US, then the central bank of US is Federal Reserve System. In England, Bank of England. In France, central bank is known as the Bank of France. So in every country, there will be one central bank named by different names. So let us know some knowledge about the central bank of our country. The central bank of our country is named as Reserve Bank of India, and this is the building of Reserve Bank of India in Mumbai. It was established in 1st April 1935. The executive head of Reserve Bank of India is the governor. Its headquarters is in Mumbai and the current governor of Reserve Bank of India is Sri Shaktikant Das. Now let us move to the functions of central bank. There are altogether 7 main important functions of every central bank. The first one is note issue. The second one is banker, fiscal agent and advisor to the government. Banker to the banks, custodians of foreign exchange reserve, lender of the last resort, controller of credit, and lastly, promoter of economic development. Okay, now let us understand each of these functions in detail one by one. The first one is note issue. So, the central bank in every country has the sole monetary power to issue currency notes and coins. Currency notes and coins that is issued by the central bank are considered to be as the legal tender money because it is legal in nature and it has been issued by the government agency. Central bank has an issue department which is normally responsible for the issue of different notes and coins. In India, apart from the rupee of 1, all other currency notes and coins are usually minted and printed by the Reserve Bank of India. The second main function of central bank is the banker, fiscal agent and advisor to the government. So the central bank as a banker to the government It performs all those functions which a commercial bank offers to the general public. It accepts deposits for the government, it makes payment on behalf of the government, and sometimes the central bank of the country also advances short-term loans to the government to meet the deficit in the budget. So in this way it acts as a banker to the government. Secondly, it also acts as a fiscal agent. It manages the public borrowing, collects taxes and other payments, and represents the government in international financial institutions and conferences on behalf of the government. So, normally, as a fiscal agent, the central bank always manages the loans taken by the government. It also receives or it also receives taxes as its revenue for the government, and it also acts on behalf of the government in different international financial institutions and conferences. In this way it acts as a fiscal agent. Lastly, it also acts as an advisor to the government on all financial and monetary matters of the government. For example, it advises on the issues like deficit financing, whenever there is devaluation of currency, or whenever it is related to the foreign exchange policies. So, in this way, it acts as a banker, fiscal agent, and the advisor to the government. Now, the third function is the banker to the government. Just like the commercial banks performs different functions for its general public. Similarly, the central banks also performs different functions for its commercial banks. It acts as a custodian of cash reserve of the commercial bank. So what do you mean by cash reserve? Every commercial banks, whenever they are operating, whatever deposits they have with them, a certain percentage of that deposits have to be deposited with central bank as cash reserves. So these reserves are maintained by every commercial bank all over the world. It also provides different financial assistance such as short-term loans, discountings of bills of exchange, clearinghouse, etc. And the central bank also provides guidance and directions to the commercial bank in their activities. In this way, central bank acts as a banker to every commercial bank. Fourthly, it acts as a custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Foreign exchange reserves means the currencies of different countries. Now, the central bank also functions as the custodian of foreign exchange reserves such as US dollar, British stock, gold bullion, and other such reserves in the custody. The right of central banks helps to overcome the balance of payment difficulties and maintain stability in the exchange rate. So normally, like I told you, central banks maintains the currencies of different foreign countries. So whenever it has different foreign currencies, with this reserves, it will be helpful for the central bank of every country to maintain exchange rate of domestic currencies with the foreign currency. It maintains stability in the exchange rate between the domestic currency and the foreign currency. In this way, it helps the country in many foreign trade policies all over the world. Fifthly, it is a lender of the last resort. When commercial banks have exhausted their resources and are in need of funds, they approach the central bank to tide up their financial crisis. During this situation, the central bank, with the cash reserve of commercial banks, provide financial assistance to them. So suppose if State Bank of India, that is one of the commercial bank of the country, are in need of finance, are in need of money. And if any commercial bank are not in a position to help State Bank of India, then State Bank of India can approach to Reserve Bank of India for financial help. So under this situation, the central bank, with whatever deposit it has of State Bank of India, it can utilize these reserves to provide loans to the State Bank of India during that situation. So in this way, it acts as a lender of the last resort. The sixth function of central bank is to control the credit. And this is one of the very important function of every central bank all over the world. That is to control the credit function of every commercial bank. So as explained earlier in the previous chapter, that is commercial bank, we know that bank money or credit money is the major component of money supply in a country. So therefore, it is very essential that the supply of money must be regulated so as to ensure the smooth functioning of the economy. And normally, Reserve Bank or the central bank of the country uses its qualitative and quantitative methods of credit control to ensure that there is smooth functioning of the economy with proper supply of money in the market. The seventh and the last function of central bank is the promoter of economic development. Let us know how it acts as a promoter of economic development. Firstly, it is entrusted with the responsibility of developing and controlling a strong banking system. So every commercial banks always tries to maintain and develop a strong banking sector for the economy so that the economy moves in a proper way and so that the performance of the economy is better for the country. Secondly, it undertakes measures to maintain price stability that is necessary for the growth of an economy. Out here, the central bank of the country usually uses its credit, usually manages the credit of the economy to maintain the price stability in the economy. Price stability means there are less fluctuations in the prices of the commodities. If there are very high prices, then that leads to inflation, and that is also very bad for the economy. On the other hand, if the prices of commodity goes down, such situation is known as deflation, and that is also demotivating for the economy. Thirdly, it helps in the development of money and capital markets in the economy. So central bank also has the responsibility of developing the money and the capital market in the economy. So money market are those market which gives credit for a short period of time, like banks. On the other hand, capital markets are those market which gives credit for medium and long term. And this under this capital market comes different financial institutions which gives credit for medium and long term. Examples: ICICI, IFCI, IDBI, etc. So we have come to the end of this video. In this video we studied about the meaning of central bank, and we also studied the different important functions of every central bank. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching this video.